Welcome to another video from DIY Daily. Just put together a full step-by-step guide, just running you through how to carry out a Haldex service on this 2017 Landrover Discovery Sport. This one's a 2-litre Ingenium engine. Obviously we're using a 2-poster ramp, does make the job a little bit easier, but without a ramp you'd have to jack it up at the back end as high as you can to get underneath it. The only problem that you'll have is when you're refilling the oil, you really need it on level ground to set the level. But we'll run you through everything a step at a time. If you haven't already subscribed to the channel, just click on the red subscribe button below to make sure you don't miss out on any future content. Just before we get it up in the air, I'll just run you through the parts that we're using. We've got a genuine seal kit from Landrover. Comes with some seals in there, a couple of new bolts for the pump. We've got some new oil as well. These are in 300ml cartridges. Because we're doing not doing a full flush and we're just dropping it out of the pump, we should really only need to use sort of one and a bit of these. But if you check the description below, I'll put links to all the parts used and where you can get them all from. Just to start with, we'll get it up in the air and just run you through everything a step at a time. Right, so just coming underneath from the back, we've just got the filler for the Haldex here. The one at the back here is just for the diff. You've got a drain and a filler for the diff there, but for the Haldex, you can just see on the side there, we've got a little slotted cap there. We're going to need to undo that. Sometimes you can fit like a coin in there and then twist the coin just to get that off. We're going to crack that off in a minute just to start with, just to make sure it comes undone okay. And then we've got the pump, the Haldex pump itself at the front, which we're going to need to take out. We've got two 10mm holding the pump in. And then we're just going to need to undo this connector there as well. But just for a bit of access, just on this one in the way, just in the way a little bit, is the heat shield from the exhaust here. Now I did just give these a quick scrub up and a spray with some WD-40 earlier on. Basically got 6 10mm on there. It's always worth just giving a bit of a soak and a scrub. We're just going to undo all 6 of them and we should be able to move some of this heat shield slightly forward. You can try and do it without and just tweak it out of the way. But for undoing the 6 bolts, it's just going to make the access a bit easier. So just to start with, we'll get them 6 10mm undone and move the heat shield forward. Now you can normally just push that forward if you want, but just for the video, I'm just going to just pulled it out completely. So if you just tweak the exhaust down a bit, you can just pull it out. And that's your little 10mm nuts that hold it on. Alright, so next thing we're going to do is just undo this connector there. And all you need to do is just a little flat bladed screwdriver in there. You can just sort of push it in like that. You might just need to just push from the back, just push it in slightly forward and then pull it back and it should just come straight off. So I'll just get that out of the way now. You only need to do just this back one that goes to the pump. So now the connector's off, next thing we're going to do, 10mm at the bottom there, and just a 10mm, can't quite get the camera on it, just a 10mm over the top there as well. But you can see with the heat shield out of the way, it's nice and easy to access. And obviously just you want to be putting a catch tray underneath it to catch all of the oil as well. But again, just before we do that as well, just to make 100% sure that the filler does come out okay, we're just going to crack this filler cap off as well. So just a little washer in there, just use a screwdriver to crack it off and then you can just sort of turn it. It's a little bit fiddly, but that's the cap just out there as well. Just taking the cap out now, we'll just allow the oil to drain through a bit better. You can just see in the centre as well, if you have got something a bit finer slotted in there, you might actually get a better fitting right through the middle as well. So now that that's out, we're just going to use a 10mm to get the pump bolts undone, then we'll just work the pump out and just have a look. And there'll be a gauze, like a filter gauze on the pump that we're going to need to clean out once we've got it off. So that's the 2 bolts out. The top one's a little bit awkward. Managed to get over the top with a 10mm. Just had to use like a 1/4 drive ratchet and extension just to make it a little bit easier to get in. Now that the pump bolts are out, I'm just going to put the catch tray underneath it and just be able to work the pump. It'll be a little bit tight, shouldn't be bad at all though. And just wiggle it a little bit as we just pull it back, and then we'll lose quite a bit of oil as we're doing it. Right, so that's the Haldex pump out. You can just see the filter gauze on there. Now this one's done 65,000 miles and I'm pretty sure it's never been done before. You can see just how bad that is. Once we've got it off in a minute and we've cleaned it all out, you'll see just the difference. That's actually quite badly blocked on this one. We're just going to leave the oil draining for a bit now. I'm going to get the filter over to the bench, the pump, and I'll just show you how to strip it down and just clean the filter out. So you can just see in there's quite a lot of gunk in there as well, so we're just going to use some brake cleaner and just swill all that out inside as well. And once we've done that, then we'll go over to the bench. Alright, so we've just got it over to a bench now. Next thing we're going to do, we've just got two little torque screws just here. And you want a T10 Torx just to get them undone. We'll just get that undone now, and then just show you just cleaning all the filter gauze out on it. You can just see I've disturbed quite a bit of that. When it was in situ, a lot of the gunk was over the filter, but now that some of it's moved, you can see sort of through some of the filter there. But all we're going to do is just take it over to the drainer, give that a good clean out with some brake cleaner. We'll just give all that a clean around there, give it a good wash out with some brake cleaner again. Then we're just going to need to take off the two seals and put two new O-rings out of the kit on there as well. So we'll just get it all cleaned down quick. You can just see the difference there, what the filter should look like as it's when it's clean. Just to get the seals off, just going to use a little pick or a flat bladed screwdriver. It's always just nice to use just a little bit of oil and just soak the seal a bit. We're now ready to refit the gauze over the top. The two bolts, they don't need to be too tight, just a light nip on them. Just basically just run them down so it goes tight, just a little light nip on it, that's all. Right, so that's the pump all back together. See, the filter looks nice and clean now. Just going to get it back over to the truck, get it pushed back into place, just nip the two bolts up. Again, the two 10mm, they don't need to be silly tight, just a bit more than a light nip really. And then we'll just run you through the filling procedure once we've got it all in. Right, so we've now got the pump back in, it's all dipped back up. Next thing we're going to do is just get the filler, get the new oil out, get it ready and just fill it up. Now, there's a bit of a procedure to it. Basically we're going to fill it up till it starts coming out the level, then we're going to need to run the vehicle, we're going to run it for a bit on the ramp, and then we're going to take the cap off again, just top it back up, and then just to be 100% sure, we'll take it for a quick run and just get it back in and just take it off and then just check it once more again. But we'll just get it all set up, ready to fill it up. Sometimes some of the kits that you get, some of the Febby ones, sometimes they come with a little syringe just to get it in. It is a little bit awkward, but we're just going to try with a tube and just see just how it works with one of these, just see how well it works, see if we can get it in with that. I'm hoping we can just get that through and squeeze it in. So we've just got it set up in the corking gun and just had a quick squeeze through, and it does look like just up by the side of the exhaust here, we should be able to get it in. So that's got one full tube in, so we've got 300mm in at the minute. It's not quite pouring out of it. Basically you're setting the level to where it comes out the filler, but obviously once we do run it as well, we should find that that'll drop a little bit more again to get it topped right up. So we're just going to get the next tube in now and just finish off this first one. Now, I think at the minute we're just about at the level. If you're a little bit unsure, a little trick that you can do is just get a cable tie, a nice clean one, and just dip it in over the top and just see if you're actually there. But I'm pretty happy that we're level at the minute. Now all I'm going to do is just put the cap on. You don't need to do it tight or anything, but these plastic ones do only just turn to a stop anyway. So we're just going to put that back in, we're going to drop it down, we're just going to just start it up, just run it through the gears a little bit on the ramp, and then we'll just send it back up in the air and just see where the level's at after that. I'll just speed through this section. Right, so it's all filled up now. You can just see it's nicely running out of there. We're just going to put the drain bung back in, just run it completely up to its stop now. At this stage now, all I'm going to do is I'm going to get it down, give it a drive down the road as well, and then I'll just put it back on and just check the level just to finish it off. Well, this is pretty much the Haldex service done, the filter cleaned, the oil topped up. Now if you want to do a proper flush, they do take a lot more oil, but to do a full flush is a lot more involved. But this basically is just like a basic service, getting most of the oil renewed and getting that filter cleaned out, which is the most important thing. So I'm just going to put this back in now. We'll just put the under tray back on, give it a drive. But I thought I'll just end the video at this. Hopefully it's helped someone in the same situation if you was a bit unsure. And if you want to check out any of the parts, just check them out in the description below. I'll just leave the video recording just while we finish it off and get it down and off the ramp. Just one quick thing to note, it's always worth when you've done anything like this. Obviously I'm going to be taking this back out again, but you really want to give everything a good wash down with some brake cleaner. It's just nice and easy to check then once you're running it up. It's just nice and easy to see if you've got any leaks as well.